So this is what we're going to consider a bonus vlog for our trip, because as we were about to try to leave the Gulu area, we wanted to also see this area. It's the Uganda Children of War Rehab program that you may have heard about before. At the height of the Lord's Resistance Army's prevalence here in the Gulu area, where children were victims of war here, this area, this center, had nearly 300 children who were coming in maimed from the war and suffering so many problems. Dora is here. She's been telling me a little bit about the history, but this place is practically empty at this point. Yet you still have a lot of work that's going on outside these walls, outside this program. You're still seeing quite a few people who are needing resources like the shirts that have been passed out over the last week, new clothing and shoes. And why is that? Why are so many people still needing these type of items?
I've been working at the rehabilitation center. I joined World Vision 2006, but also previously I worked at a rehabilitation center, a sister project, and I've worked for the last 10 years with children returning, but also with the communities of actually through the war and even at this point of recovery and resettlement that is taking place now. The center now, both centers, for World Vision and for the sister organization that is also doing rehabilitation, now is almost getting empty. And for us as workers, that is a pride, that is a joy. The only bit that does not make us happy is the fact that not all the children have returned. If the war had ended and everybody had come home, we would be very happy to even close the centers. Now the centers remain open to receive the smaller number of children or adults coming in. Many of the people coming to the center now are young male adults. Our Center for World Vision exclusively now takes care of male adults, while our sister rehabilitation center is taking care of female returnees and babies and children under 18 years old. Just to make the work easy, we agreed on that basis as a district. The center, even when the children are few, the center has a lot of backlog of work to do. This rehabilitation center has supported over 15,000 formerly abducted persons. That includes children from 8 years. It includes child mothers, girls who were taken captive and returned with babies and their babies. It includes male adults and some of the commanders for LRA. The victims came, the survivors came with various problems. Those who came with retained bullets, those who came with compound fractures, those who returned and found their families have been killed and destroyed and nobody is there. So the center now has a task of providing additional support to facilitate this group. Even as they've left the center and gone to their homes, they need a lot more support now, because at this point is when they're returning to that home state where probably you saw your father being killed and you being abducted and separated from your family, and you spent over 5, 10, 15 years with the LRA, and you are returning now. Now, to begin life again in that household is very difficult, and that is the biggest challenge that most of the formerly abducted persons are facing now. A number of them have returned and they don't have, probably their parents have died during the course of the war, or their parents were even killed by the LRAs. And a number of them, as I said, also have returned with various kinds of disability. Either they were just mutilated by the LRA, or they got injured during crossfires, and they now have permanent disability. So the center continues to provide additional support. We continue to provide additional specialized medical treatment for removal of, say, retained bomb splinters, gunshots, additional treatment. We have children who have retained bullets like in their brains or in their head, causing paralysis on one side of the body. We continue to support them. And with that kind of background, they cannot do a lot of productive activities on their own. And therefore, the GIKs that we receive comes in to supplement. The GIKs that we receive comes in to support them, begin living again, and also give them opportunity to spend whatever they are able to scratch on something else, probably on food or other things. As you know, we no longer have the general food distribution now in northern Uganda, because we expect that people should go and farm. And that is the main livelihood for the communities here.
Well, you did an incredible job summing up everything that we needed to know about how these shirts actually play a role. I didn't have to ask her a single question, which is phenomenal. I just want to thank you for taking the time to talk with us. This has been such a great journey for us as vloggers trying to learn more about how Gift in Kind plays a role here in Uganda. And what a great example to stop by here, this rehab program, and see how people throughout this community who desperately need it the most, who are considered the most vulnerable, are using GIK or these products or shirts or clothing to be able to have a better life.